Hello everyone. Today we talk about the cause of freedom of speech in China. This person I'm going to talk about, her name is Zhang Zhan, a graduate of Southwestern University of Finance and Economy, was formerly a lawyer and a long-time advocate for the human right. In 2020, during the initial outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic in the central Chinese city of Wuhan, the 37-year-old Zhang traveled to the lockdown city to document the struggles of its residents. She recorded and shared video clips from the local hospital, communities, and other locations. By the end of that year, Zhang was detained by authorities on charges of picking quarrels and provoking trouble, and was later sentenced to 4 years in prison. Reports indicate that she engaged in multiple hunger strikes while incarcerated, with her weight dropping to under 40 kilograms at one point, raising serious concerns about her health. During the early days of the COVID-19 crisis, strict government control over media limit public access to information about the situation. Against the backdrop, Zhang Zhan emerged as one of the several citizen journalists who sought to reveal the reality in Wuhan. Others, including former lawyer Chen Qishan and Fang Bing, also ventured into the documents event, but they were too detained by the authorities and subsequently disappeared from the public view. In 2021, my car just turned on the air conditioner. In 2021, Zhang's courage earned her international recognition. She was awarded the Lin Zhao's Freedom Award by the US-based China Ad Association, which praised her for capturing the truth she witnessed and revealing to the world the real picture of Wuhan during the early stage of the pandemic. Additionally, she received the Press Freedom Courage Award from Reporters Without Borders for her fearless reporting. A former defense lawyer for Zhang told the BBC that her health had somewhat improved in prison, with a slight increase in weight, though the extent of her recovery remains unclear, as does whether she suffered from other medical conditions. The lawyer, who requested anonymous for safety reasons, learned this information from Zhang's family after Chinese New Year. The lawyer noted that upon release, Zhang would return to her parents' home in Shanghai, but her personal freedom may still be restricted. Authorities are likely to have a prepared measure to monitor her, with her family facing frequent police interrogations and pressure to avoid contact with the outside world. Community officials may also check her residence. The lawyer described Zhang's family as living in a state of fear. This person, Zhang, a permanent U.S. expert on the Chinese law, told the BBC that journalists with legal training like Zhang are extremely rare and must not be lost. She emphasized that the unlimited significance of Zhang's case depends on her circumstance after release. She had observed that many free human rights advocates remain silent due to ongoing informal suppression, while a few managed to leave China and continue reporting on the human rights. Issues of such cases are exceptions. Typical agreements are made between the detainees and the authorities regarding their conduct post-release. She had expressed relief that Zhang had ceased her hunger strike, noting that she still has 40 years ahead of her, and that China's human rights situation may improve during that time. Days before Zhang's scheduled release, Shen Yanqi, a Shanghai resident, contacted Zhang's mother to ask if she needed company to pick Zhang up from prison, to receive a reply saying, "I may not be able to go." Shen has since lost contact with Zhang's family. She told the BBC that she was repeatedly questioned by police and warned not to visit Zhang's parents' home, and she is now followed when leaving her house, describing her situation as half monitored, half free. Reflection on the February 2020, Zhang's video from Wuhan was striking. In one YouTube clip, she captured patients lying in a hospital with a blue oxygen tank visible. In other, she visited what was reportedly a Wuhan creamery, documenting the sort of the facility operation at night. Beyond videos, Zhang criticized the government's pandemic response in writing, accusing it of lacking transparency, neglecting the rights of ordinary people, and downplaying the crisis' severities. On her personal Twitter account, she wrote, "Without effective treatment, medical supply, distribution, transparent information, or human rights protections, the government's epidemic control measures are utterly wrong." In May 2020, Zhang was criminally detained by the Pudong branch of the Shanghai Public Security Bureau and formally arrested the following months on the charge of picking quarrel and provoking trouble. This vulgarly defined offense, widely criticized as a pocket crime, is often used to target activism, and prosecutors allege that during her time in Wuhan, Zhang disseminated a large amount of false information through platforms like WeChat, Twitter, now X, and YouTube, and gave an interview to overseas outlets such as Radio Free Asia and the Epoch Times. Wang Jianhong, initiator of the Zhang Zhan concert group, recently compiled over 100 of Zhang's video, which screenshot and other materials into a booklet, which was published on the days of her release. Wang told the BBC that Zhang is a low-key person who isn't an activist, but someone who wanted to understand the situation and help those in need. Zhang's lawyer was not allowed to meet with her until 3 months after her detention, during which time reports of her hunger strike surfaced. One of her defense lawyers, then Zhang Zhan, wrote on social media that Zhang had become so emaciated she was almost unrecognizable, despite the defense team's request for bail and a trial postponement due to her life-threatening condition. The court rejected those pleas. The Zhang Zhan concert group reported that her hunger strike in prison caused her weight to plummet below 40 kilograms, and she was sometimes force-fed. In December 2022, Zhang's brother shared a letter she wrote to her mother. On the Twitters, featured a hand-drawn flower on the envelope as a gesture of reassurance. He wrote, "Zhang Zhan stripped of her freedom. She has endured unimaginable suffering, yet her heart remains 100% full of lies and beauty." The post has since been deleted before her arrest. Zhang gave an interview to an independent documentary filmmaker, which was shared with the BBC after her sentencing. In it, she revealed that she had previously been detained for supporting Hong Kong's anti-extraditional protesting in mainland China, during which she was subject to forced violations of her psychological mental condition. She responded with a hunger strike, citing, "I cannot back down in the face of such things because this country cannot back down." Zhang was released on May 13, 2024, upon completing her sentence. However, just 3 months later, she was taken into custody again in the Xianyang Shanxi by the Shanghai police after traveling to Guangzhou to support detained activist Zhang Pancheng. In early September, she was criminally detained on a suspicion of picking quarrel and provoking trouble, and held at the Pudong New Era Detention Center in Shanghai. According to the source close to her family, her case may soon go to trial. A source named Zhang told the media that Zhang was targeted for visiting Zhang Pancheng, an activist who has previously spoken out for her, and predicts she could face another 4-year sentence. Zhang Zhan, a Shanxi-based human rights lawyer, told the media that prosecutors have recommended a sentence of 4 to 5 years, with 5 years being more likely. Given her prior 4-year sentence, authorities may impose a harsher penalty for the second offenders, potentially range from the 4.5 years to 5 years. Lu Chengyuan, another legal expert, noted that the prosecution has completed its review, signaling an imminent trial. He suggests that subjecting Zhang to a violation to her mental health in a tactic to trash her reputation while justifying a heavier sentence. So all I want to say is I'm really respect her. Even after she finished her sentence, she right away trying to help another activist, and knowing fully that she would face legal consequences. All I can say is I hope she will be safe, and after she finishes her sentence, she will find a way to escape to the freedoms and somewhere that cherish human rights, somewhere that she's going to be happy. Okay, that's all I want to say. Thank you so much.